So yeah, I'm Rudolfs. I'm head of account manager, and throughout this webinar, you will live out my experience building a strategic roadmap for many of our clients, and you will be seeing how we have adapted our process to get it done, because this process, I must say, it's like maybe 2 years, 3 years old, and we have also grown internally how we shall proceed with our clients. So I will share also some useful tips and tricks and the trends as well. So this is our agenda. So if you look on the points, then the key components of the UX evaluation and technical excellence, they will be both mixed together. So there will not be like separate part 2 and part 3. There will be everything together, but I will tell you why is that. You will see in the future in the slides. And we can't start proper webinar without statistics, without the data, and no need to jump into the details. So what do you see here is that e-commerce marketing is growing in the US and the Europe, and opportunities are there. And what is predicted by year 27, that the e-commerce market will increase by 54%. So good time to jump in the roadmap creation if you have not done it yet. So first part is about defining your e-commerce strategy. It will be on a high level. What kind of assets do you need to do it? And as you know, there is something what you have learned also in your school. It's called SWOTs, and you may have first like impressions that it's something boring, but for big companies, it's something that you need to update constantly, because like the internet is growing, there's constant trends, there's constantly threats and the opportunities that you need to leverage. And especially on the opportunities and threats, it's like external factors. And mainly it's needed because you can plan them out and also take advantage of them. Next thing, if you're defining your e-commerce, then you need to understand what is the stakeholders behind your organization, who will be playing, who will be players in your e-commerce strategy, especially those who will influence your strategy, and not to even mention people who will be also executing them. So questions to ask at the beginning of your planning is, who are your strategic partners in the company, who can help inform your strategy, so like kind of influencers, and what are your execution collaborators, who needs to be just fill in about the progress, what's going on, and who is your ally who can help you. Next thing is look up into the market data. So here I have mentioned some of the tools that, for example, our business analysts are using internally, so you can also check them out. And first of all, yes, it's about identifying your existing data sources, your database, what is going on in your CRM, in your marketing automations, in your Google Analytics, if you have customer service people working, so some help desk platforms. And maybe you have started your work before some of these researches have been made. So maybe you can find something internally very useful. For example, user interviews. It's a very powerful information to help influence where you are going with rest of your strategy, with your research, and how you shall think about the strategy in the future. So there are a lot of resources to check. What do we do in the scandiweb? I will also explain in the next slides, but there is also a next component, which is identify and plan and available data. So really what you need to think about here is which data sets you are searching for from our previous exercise, and which data you still needed. For example, maybe it is user interviews or competitor analysis. So this is a slide that is taking from our slide deck. Don't pay attention to the content here, but what I want to make sure you read is the first point. So it's meaning scanning and benchmarking. So in this case, this slide also describes the set of the actions, what we are doing with our clients. But in this case, when you are scanning some industry trends, it's very helpful that you have done some user research. So you know and understand who your customers are and what do they want. Also including like competitors. How are they offering the products? What are the pricing they're using? What messaging they're using, and how your company and the products going to fit in that mix? How you are going to break through, for example, and ultimately how you are going to win the market. So before we start creating the roadmap, we do also this analysis inside, understanding who is our company customers and what do they want. Now, if we dive a little bit deeper on the roadmap creation, I will be explaining from the business context, not from the technical, because the technical roadmap, it will appear somewhere at the end where we actually create a delivery plan with all the backlog items that needs to be delivered. So I will not gonna jump into these details, but we will look up from the business context, because if you will translate the business context right to delivery roadmap, it will be more efficient to report back maybe to your stakeholders and just follow the milestones that you want to achieve. And for example, how do we split the roadmaps inside the scandiweb? We use the quarters to describe, okay, what do we want to achieve by every quarter? And especially if you are familiar with the SMART method, so you have specific number, you have deadline, you can measure them. It's really great that you describe these milestones in that way. Jumping back to the slide, so what I can tell about that, it shall be like also business focused and long-term oriented, adding all the corporate vision and the goals that you want to achieve. It shall be split out by the milestones. If we talk about the technical details, it shall cover all parts of the e-commerce ecosystem, and you shall dream big. It shall be ambitious, fueled with the energy, but it also shall be something realistic that you can achieve. And shall be milestone transferred, and you could see it. For example, if you will print out your roadmap, it could fit into the A4 sheet format. And that's about the high-level roadmap creation. Usually, every goals are now it's after transfer to the delivery roadmap, which is more specific, and in that time, the technical team jumps in and helps you describe every item that you want to deliver. So this is what we want to take a look from the business context. Very clear, ambitious, split by the milestones, nothing much to add. It shall be very visible. And here's also a short recap from my tips and the insights by creating roadmaps for multiple of our clients. So it's just not about good ideas and trends, it's about executing the plan, involving the stakeholders, and knowing your strategic partners. Milestone objectives turn it into a visual framework for the strategy. It will help you to keep everyone on the same page. Yes, that's what we also covered. And you shall understand your e-commerce overview and organizing your data by customer experience areas that will help you identify insights and main priorities where you can begin with. And as I said in the beginning, we have created our own framework, how we build the roadmaps. And it includes 4 core areas. So acquisition and engagement, purchase journey, loyalty, retention, and technology. And as you can see in the middle, that's your customers in the middle. And behind these 4 big core areas, there are many categories that is around like 15 components that we are evaluating. So it's not like fully a marketing concept that you maybe are already familiar with. It doesn't have maybe public relationship, print ads and the catalogs, influencer marketing, but we look really from the technology perspectives that has a quick wins. And their revenue, performance, and security-driven indicators. And the security, that's also what we need to think nowadays. In some companies, these areas are working as a whole organism without any problems. For some, it's still partly unreleased, but for some, it's still deprioritized totally. It's really depending where your business is now. In this evaluation, we in total check around 230 plus indicators, but it doesn't mean that we are like doing full audit of each of these areas, but it's just an overview and not to understand where the ecosystem is, where the ecosystem and business is now, and what trajectory business shall take to take a quick wins in the market. And in the end, when it's all evaluated, customers turn into the total score where we understand, okay, this is the total score what we can get from the existing ecosystem. And if we now covering one part step by step, then let's cover the acquisition and engagement first. So it includes social media, email, paid marketing, and organic search. What about the trends? What we can look up into is first, maybe we can already start with the influencer marketing, because it's growing. Influencer, there's new influencers in the marketing. They're like very let's say they know how also promote some of the products, and for example, like nano influencers who have like just a few thousand followers, according to the research, they're also like the best guys with who you can cooperate in the long-term partnerships. And research, what for example CXL have shown us, for example, if this influencer has less than 25,000 followers or the fans, it generates like highest engagement. And yeah, also in the slides, you will see some of the tools. I know there are more. Thanks to my account manager family, they're like the guys who's working on the proposals and all the lists and solutions, what you will be seeing here, because also they are generating great ideas how they can help customers. Next trendy thing is a zero-party data. So customers really want that for example, that the retailer knows that he has purchased his jacket, for example, in the offline, and he expects that he will get targeted with the shoes that maybe is aligned with the colors of his jacket. And maybe some other example, if you have also bought modern art dinner plates for your kitchen, I don't know, the customer expects that you will target him with another set of kitchen gear, or like the knives or spoons that could fit inside his purchase. So zero-party data is all about how many data you can capture during the journey on the website. And also here there's some tools that you can use, and maybe it will be handy for your e-commerce. On the right side, there's like visual how this campaign works. In this case, it's set up with a Klaviyo. And if you look up on the industry trends, for example, in the SEO, SEO I think is one of the biggest aspects right now because of the AI. And what actually means here conversational AI integration in the search results. Well, it's already what Bing is doing. you search for some keywords or try to find something, your search queries in the Google, and it will work same as ChatGPT. So yeah, being integration with ChatGPT, that's what already happened. Global decrease in paid ad spend, leading increase in the competition and organic search. So yes, there is assumption that because of economic stagnation, brands will cut the budget and it will lead and increase the competition. And there is a lot of noise in the search engines. And for example, if you open the search, and you will see some random sections. For example, you search for something, you see there will be frequently asked questions, then there will be videos, blogs, images, and I don't know, in some searches, you will also find some list of the products. And overall, this state describes the noisiness in the search. So we see that there are small algorithms that's updating like every day, but there is no clear constant concept how like search will look at the end, because every time on every search query, it's like every time the Google show different results. Then there's frequently asked questions, and there's images, and there's how to do something. So right now there's big noise around it. And yeah, growing importance of applying semantic search concepts and entity first optimization is, for example, if you search for like some people and personality, then there is already applied identity to this search term, and you can search a lot of different concepts, and Google will understand, for example, what is this entity that you are searching for. If we look up to the next, it's a purchase journey. So it's about the usability. For e-commerce store, there are certain requirements for the web content which should comply with the web accessibility rules. And merchandising, it's, yeah, I must say, like every click in your e-commerce site is also like a vote for a product attractiveness, and every search query is an opportunity for learning how users actually behave on your site and what they are looking for. So merchandising is a big thing that we also analyze. Then of course there's checkout and post-purchase purchase journey, where we evaluate packaging, pricing, messaging during the post-purchase journey, and how it looks when it gets into your hands, how well it's packed, how's the unpacking. So yeah, and so on. And the omni-channel experience, that's about, yeah, for example, if you go to your online site and you check if your product is available inside your store, buy online and pick up in the store, or for example, you buy it in the store and it's delivered to your home, or maybe you experience some in-store personalized experience. And with omni-channel, there is this term coming in. It's also something new. It means composable commerce. So it's also like a development approach of selecting best e-commerce components for your business to build a custom application specifically for business needs. And it's specifically applied also, yeah, to the e-commerce and connecting, for example, omnichannel experience. If you look forward on the trends, nothing new. Live shopping, you can see like all the social media platforms, as TikTok, Amazon, Instagram, Facebook. You can already see the live streaming experience is already happening there. But on the other hand, there's also some tools that you can implement on your website. But still, we recommend to use social media first, and especially if there's a micro influencer who can actually host this event. That's amazing. And again, some tools that you can check. So site digital store concept. This is what we have done with the Sportland, connecting this omnichannel experience. So guys have a click and collect experience. They can scan the products and add it to the wish list. So omnichannel, that's like already ongoing trend, at least for 2 years, or it's like generating hype. How do you connect all the customer behaviors and the data in one profile from the online and offline experience together. And if you look on the next trends, you will see some wow effect, something is moving on your screen. So that's a 3D configurators that you can also use, for example, for your store. You can also select what kind of couch, for example, do you want? Is it with a leather or is it with some fabric? And based on these needs, you can configure it. You can see it in a 3D. You can maybe apply it somewhere in your room by using the camera. So it's also generating a good hype, and it helps to convert more customers. Well, according to Adobe Commerce, consumer preferences in the report that was made 2 years ago, the 70% would like to see more virtual reality in the online shopping experience. And we actually see it in the reality. Right now, the scanning also the websites, we see that this direction is slowly going there. And it's something also what you consider, especially if your product is configurable. You can configure it. It's, I don't know, maybe it's a hand watch or something else. Then it's really nice thing to use that will make you unique. Post-purchase excellence. This is also the point what I want to touch, and we also touched it about the packaging. How do you receive it? What kind of notifications and emails do you receive? Are they branded? Does they also share some news of the blogs that is related to the product that you purchased, for example, how to maybe use it. So it's really about keeping this experience even customer has purchased your product. So here are also some tools that you can check that's widely used in the e-commerce. And also a trend is about tracking sustainability. So it's a traceability thing, because also people who is ordering somewhere, for example, from the US to the Europe or from Canada, they might be interested how much CO2 this delivery took, and a lot of more indicators. But it will be also now mentioned in the recap. And if you look up on the industry trends, live shopping is growing worldwide. It's generating 500 billion sales already. And there's one site that you can use. It's a good and free tool to check what kind of channels are most used for each market. For example, is it like maybe Facebook is trending or Twitter is trending somewhere in the world? So you can use this tool to actually check what is going on. And hyper personalization, there's this website about you, and when I sign up, it actually uses my name in the header. So it's not about you, it's now about the Rudolfs. And hyper personalization, that's something that you really need to look up into. How do you personalize every step of the customer journey in your website? And sustainability, we are now circling back to this point because millennials and Generation Z, they become more and more conscious about their impact on the environment and the footprints they leave. And it may not just about the UX, but it's also about the positioning, how a company is communicating about this. So this also a thing to consider. And it's very important that you address also different audiences. Thanks to Olga, she shared some of the stories of the Victoria's Secret. I guess, if I remember correctly, there was this specific case that only like models are performing on their product images or something. But when they started to communicate with the different audience, it changed the game. And as I said, omnichannel experience, it's changed the game, and consumer wants to see what kind of stock they have inside the stores. And they want to know that he has purchased this product and he gets this personalized experience. And if we look up in the technology, then it's about more technical things. So it's about the e-commerce ecosystem itself. Is it like integrated with the OMS, with the ERP? Is like the PIM existing and used there? But it's also some other things. For example, the site search, infrastructure, and the performance and the innovations. And right now, everybody is hyped about getting this, getting green core web vitals, and this is something that we also have achieved with one of our clients. There's certain tools to use. In this case, we used the Hue framework to deliver this, and yeah, the performance was a lot better. Here's maybe also some KPIs that you can check. So overall, it increased better performance, page speed, and yeah, more conversions. And in the future, it's all about the PWA. That's how we see it will move, because maybe for bigger brands, loyal customers that expect that they have a web application that they can download on the phone, and it's working with speed of light, and it gives a lot of additional PWA features, as for example scrolling offline, and yeah, using a lot of nice things. And yeah, it's also really good from the SEO perspective. So PWA is something that we really see in the long-term future. It will be growing. And something interactive. I left the QR codes here, so you can use your mobile phones and scan it in case if you want to see how this trend actually look in the real life. And this one is one of fashion, where you can, for example, check your shoes, wear them on virtually. Just point it to your feet and you will see how these shoes, for example, will look. And you can also do it with the rings, with the hand watches. It's something interesting to engage your audience and try out. Localization, it's also another trend that we need to look up, because like companies, they are looking into the opportunities, how they can expand in the market. There's certain tools that can help that. That, for example, you can connect with your backend and translate it to inside already the platform, or just install some of the integrations that will help translation already throughout in the backend. And if you look up into market expansion opportunities, then there's international checkout. That's do automation for the taxes, for the delivery, and automatically generates the price based on the location where you are. So there's also like good trends, good tools coming up, and they are widely tested and working really well. If we look up on the AI, here's another QR code that you can scan. It's also that we have delivered now in the scandiweb, where we understand how AI can help to reduce the costs of the maintenance, or maybe in some other areas where it's needed to help automate the process and completely remove the manual things. And yeah, you can check out this the site. If you have any specific case, you can drop the message and we will be happy to review what is going on. And AI is something that we also have tried out with the PPC, for example. We use the AI generated keywords and the PPC campaigns, and of course, human one will be lame if we if we will not win it. But yeah, you can also use in many other areas. And the last core area is loyalty and retention. It's about personalization, loyalty program, customer service, and data analytics. And then there will be big recap combining these both areas together. So let's look up into it. If we continue to talk about the AI, Roberts have found really good solution here. Is called handling the bot. So actually, it's a chatbot that will negotiate with you on the price. It's yeah, interesting tool to check out. For example, it will be applied to the products. If you, for example, purchase multiple products, or I don't know, like 10 t-shirts, and you want to negotiate the price, and it gives you the option to do it, you can have it now. So it's also about setting up for your business case. If you look up on the personalization and product recommendations, as I said, like every search query, it's important. It's important that you analyze and you can adapt it throughout the journey. It's not about like what kind of products are recommended, but also the categories. So you can have this product recommendation on the PDP, on the product description page. And if you, for example, go back to the home page, you can also can have some good recommendations of the products that you want to show to your customer. And in this specific area, there's a lot of integrations that you can set up with your e-commerce store. And here I have mentioned most popular, that's maybe more popular for the Magento or either to the Shopify. And of course, e-commerce is not about just constantly selling your products. It's about also the customer service. And sometimes it's big, it's overwhelmed process for people to understand from which channels the messages are coming from, the calls, the emails, the messages, and there's need for platform that unites all customer, let's say, steps, and you can have good and deep analyze how customer is behaving, what kind of steps do he leave, what kind of footprints there are. And yeah, that's also something to consider for the big companies who actually customers are calling every day, and there's big need for that. And the last one of the trends is about the loyalty program. And for example, if I also look up for something in the internet, something new, for example, I want to buy a protein shake or some supplements or whatever it is, I'm like, right now I'm like looking for a company who actually offers the loyalty program, who gives maybe some free delivery if I have this big list of the products above like 200 euros to get, then I expect that the company will give me something back, like the voucher, or maybe, yes, some free gifts. And it's always nice to receive something that surprises your customer and it will remember you, and it works as a great retention tool, because there's two steps, I think, in the e-commerce. It's first getting the customers for purchasing your product, and the second is customer retention. So circling back, remembering about your website, being your brand like loyal customer, that's something what will bring the future. And there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of peaks to explore, and there's some clients who also offer some free events, some certain level of like the tickets that you can exchange from your points, and yeah, a lot of perks that you can do for your business. Maybe even plant a tree, get level 2 and plant a tree somewhere in the world. That's something really awesome to explore. And yeah, if you look up on the recap, we see that it's about decreasing the total cost of the ownership. So retailers, they are exploring the ways how to decrease the cost. They're negotiating, and as we have seen in this year, this trend about AI, you can see what kind of whole new experience it unlocks. So also retailers, regular people as us, they are recognizing the value of AI, and they are trying to replace manual process and the resources with the automation. And it's also about collecting all your data. So there cannot be like substantial growth if your data is not in your right order, and there's certain tools MDM, or that we call a master data management, that you need for your e-commerce business to understand, okay, what is this data, in what kind of data segments we can, for example, fit our customers, and again, what are their behaviors, how long do they stay on the website, how shall we retarget them back. So it's also about working about data. And yeah, that's mainly it. Some trends that I wanted to share. There are, of course, a lot of more. We have like a big slide slide of desk, I must say, with hundreds of such trends, and we are keeping our eyes on the market. And if you want to look up how we evaluate customer experience throughout our process of creating the roadmap, you can again sign this QR code. I know we will also send follow-up to you with all the materials and the link to sign up for it, but you can already do it. And yeah, in case if you have any questions about the trends and so on, you can reach me out in the email. And yeah, that's mainly it about the presentation that I wanted to share, and I really hope it's really helpful.